Panic at Labour. Reform UK responds to Keir Starmer's extraordinary criticism of Nigel Farage. Reform UK chairman Zia Yusuf has claimed that Labour is in a state of panic over Nigel Farage, following Sir Keir Starmer's extraordinary remarks. Hello viewers, welcome to UK Pancakes. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell so you don't miss any insights about UK elites. Yusuf made his comments after Starmer stated he doesn't need lessons from Farage while delivering a strong critique of him. The Prime Minister accused Farage of proposing to spend billions upon billions in an unfunded manner, likening it to the actions of Liz Truss. During a visit to a glass factory in the northwest, the Prime Minister asserted that Farage would not have safeguarded jobs in industries affected by US tariffs. What an extraordinary press conference. It's clear that Labour is in panic mode, Yusuf remarked. Keir Starmer is worried because his failing government is now trailing reform by an alarming 8 points in the latest YouGov poll. We discuss economic credibility. This government promised £10 billion in increased spending in their manifesto last June. Yet, in their actual budget 3 months later, they raised spending by £60 billion and magically found another £30 billion to give away the Chagos Islands. When it comes to foreign citizens and spending money recklessly on things that don't benefit British lives, there's seemingly unlimited funds, he added. The reality is that when it comes to British citizens, we're constantly told by the two traditional parties that there's no money left. But when Nigel is Prime Minister, that will change. Meanwhile, Kevin Hollinrake, the shadow local government secretary, stated that the Prime Minister faces problems everywhere he looks. He told Sky News, "The public has lost interest in Labour. I don't think they were ever popular in Parliament. We were just unpopular, and we have a significant task ahead to change that, but I believe we can succeed." He added, "Moreover, reform has completely lost the trust of working-class voters in the Red Wall, particularly due to the disgraceful removal of the winter fuel allowance." Farage responded on X, saying, "The Prime Minister is using underhand tactics from the 2016 referendum campaign to attack me. This is Project Fear 2.0. What Sir Keir Starmer said in his speech in St. Helens today is less significant than the remarkable fact that he felt compelled to do so at all. It has been less than a year since he won a majority of 174 seats in a decisive general election, yet he felt the need to criticise the leader of Reform UK, which, by the way, only has 5 MPs. The question arose whether Nigel Farage is living rent-free in the Prime Minister's head, and it felt rhetorical because the answer was clearly yes. We are still about 4 years away from a general election, and the Prime Minister is facing a significant and urgent list of issues, including uncertainty surrounding Donald Trump's tariffs, the decision on whether to eliminate the 2-child benefit cap, and the potential reversal of cuts to winter fuel payments. However, he prioritized responding to a speech by Mr. Farage on Tuesday, which explicitly targeted Labour voters, over these pressing matters. Sir Keir is not the only one on the left feeling an increasing sense of urgency. This week, Scottish Labour leader Anas Sarwar released a video criticising Mr. Farage and reform in Scotland. This would have seemed absurd a year ago, as Mr. Farage's parties have never gained traction in Scotland. But the situation has changed. This morning, the Daily Record in Scotland featured a statement from SNP First Minister John Swinney claiming that the important Hamilton South by-election has turned into a direct contest between his party and Reform, rather than Labour. Recent polls indicate that Reform is now approximately 9 points ahead of Labour, with Starmer's approval ratings dropping to levels similar to those of Liz Truss. Just hours after Sir Keir spoke, Techni UK released their latest weekly tracker poll for The Independent, showing Reform at a new high of 31%, 9 points above Labour. It also revealed that 12% of Labour voters from the 2024 general election have switched to Farage. The local elections highlighted that the working people the Prime Minister frequently mentions are shifting their support to Reform, especially in the traditional Labour strongholds of the Midlands, north of England, and Wales. Despite some successes on the international front, including 3 trade deals that haven't significantly impacted domestic politics, and growing speculation about a leadership challenge within his party, Sir Keir felt compelled to directly address Mr. Farage. But what has he accomplished? He may have inadvertently bolstered the Reform leader's credibility regarding the possibility of becoming Prime Minister. Sir Keir, not for the first time, declared the Conservative Party's demise, a sentiment many commentators share. However, in doing so, he acknowledged that a leader of a party with only 5 MPs has a strong chance of becoming Prime Minister. The essence of Mr. Farage's speech on Tuesday was that if you vote Reform, you get Reform. Sir Keir has now conceded that this is true and that Reform represents his most significant opposition, not necessarily in terms of MPs, but certainly in terms of public support. The Prime Minister effectively articulated how Reform and Mr. Farage's policies are detrimental to working people, emphasizing their opposition to workers' rights, their desire to reduce taxes for the wealthy, and their plans that could lead to the country's bankruptcy. The question at hand is whether people are focusing on the details or are instead viewing the broader failures of the major political parties. This is likely just the first of many efforts by Sir Keir to counter Mr. Farage. However, he risks inadvertently giving Reform the legitimacy it seeks as a viable government alternative rather than merely a protest party. Starmer stated, "We are once again battling the same illusion, this time from Farage, the same gamble in the same casino that suggests you can spend tens of billions on tax cuts without a feasible funding plan." Former Labour MP Lloyd Russell-Moyle mentioned on GB News, "One of my colleagues pointed out last week that a significant issue with our approach is that we're making Nigel Farage our primary opponent. If people are disillusioned with the Labour Party and frustrated with governments of all kinds, they often aren't very politically engaged. Frequently, they just want to send a message by giving someone else a chance. If we're suggesting that the only alternative in the running is Nigel Farage, that's not a strategy one would endorse, as it could backfire." He continued, "Labour needs to demonstrate its effectiveness. They should adopt Farage's proposals but illustrate how they can be funded without jeopardizing jobs in the green economy, which the Green Deal would do. They should focus on creating jobs in this country and show that they can negotiate a better deal with America without compromising on issues like chlorinated chicken, as has been done. They need to improve their communication about the positive actions they are taking, rectify past mistakes, and implement progressive taxation. Simply pointing to that awful man over there won't suffice. We know from experiences in other countries that this approach hasn't worked." Farage has claimed that his proposals could be funded by eliminating net zero commitments and stopping the use of hotels for housing asylum seekers. The Prime Minister characterized the Conservatives as sliding into the abyss and recognized Reform as Labour's primary competitor. Thanks for watching till the end. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. We hope to see you in our next UK Pancakes.